welcome to the reboot, I guess, of the Cherry Pearls podcast.
It's been a bit.
It's been almost a year since we podcasted. So I think we podcasted the day that Taylor Swift released Evermore. I remember that date, December 11th. So it's been 10 months, just about. For the most part, we haven't had a lot to show. You haven't been knitting much.
Yeah, my wrists were giving me trouble, and I lost my mojo.
Yeah, and I have been knitting, but I've just been sharing on Instagram. And I started doing Vlogtober, which if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably also have seen that I've done Vlogtober. And I was thinking about how much I enjoy sharing projects and stuff in video format. Because there's only so much you can share in an Instagram post. You know, you have, character limits and, here I can just ramble on for an hour and y'all can't stop me because you're just watching at home. You're the only one who can stop me and you're not gonna, are you?
Well, they could hit pause.
So,
or just close it out completely.
They could. You're totally welcome to do that if my rambling gets to be too much. So, this is the reboot. If you are unfamiliar with us, my name is Robyn.
I'm Mary.
And this is Pearl. You might see Presley in the background also. And I also have a new acquisition. Not acquisition, but
yeah, she's not an acquisition.
I'm so used to saying acquisitions like yarn. She's a new member of the family. Her name is Audie. And if you've seen the vlog, you've seen her. She is a border collie. She is not currently around.
Right.
Because she is a big fan of the cats, and so if she's out, I like to be supervising her, and I can't supervise her and do this at the same time. Please don't knock.
Yeah, the cats are not huge fans of her, because I think she gets too much in their business.
Yeah.
They want to get in her business, but she can't get in.
Yeah, she's a border collie mix. She's mostly border collie, so she has that tendency to want to herd small animals, and I guess Pearl just really looks like a sheep. Do you see it? That she looks like a sheep?
Oh, yeah.
So I just like to supervise her, so that's why she's not going to be on the podcast.
Well, Pearl doesn't want to be herded.
Yeah. So you can find me as Teeny Button on Instagram, and you can also find my hand-dyed yarn at teenybuttonstudio.com.
On Instagram, I am Cherry Pearls Mary.
And we have a
blog that we now post our show notes to, and it is cherrypearlspodcast.blogspot.com, and we'll link it below.
Yes. So please forgive us if we're a little bit rusty. Do we have an episode number?
Oh, probably.
It's episode the next.
I have no idea.
I want to say 107, but that could be wrong.
100 and something, but it will be posted.
I'll look it up
at some point. The title will have what
you'll know what it is because you'll be looking.
Yeah, usually I do show notes, and I'm like, do you want to send me your stuff so I can write up show notes? And you're like, oh no, we'll just put it on my.
The reboot is the perfect time to try something new
on my iPad, and I'm like, oh well, if I've got to handwrite it, then I'll just use that. So
107, I was right.
Look at you special.
So I have just 2 of my most recently finished objects because I've knit quite a few things this year. So I don't want this video to be like an hour and a half long. So watch it be an hour and a half long anyway. I'm just going to show
I think it will be.
I'm just going to show my 2 most recently finished objects.
Okay, if you want to see what you've done previously that you don't talk about, you can check out our Instagram because you're pretty good at posting what you're working on.
What do you have?
Oh, I have some hats. So if you watched us for any amount of time, you know that I'm a big fan of hats. I like to knit hats to donate to charity. And when I'm just doing a basic hat, there isn't really a pattern, and so that's what these are. I forgot to write down what yarn this is, but I think it is Karen Simply Soft, but I'm not sure what the color is. I should have looked that up, but I will have it in the show notes. This is just the basic hat that I do, where I pull out a length of yarn, cast on how many stitches I can, and then knit to a certain length and do decreases. So I've got 2 of those.
You do a knit 2 together, like spiraling sort of?
Yeah. You get to a certain point and then you start doing your decreases.
Yeah.
The other 2 hats that I have, I have an awful lot of scraps, and so I wanted to start using up some of my scraps So the pattern that I have used for the scraps is called the Slip Stitch Stash Hat by Renee Rico. And so as you can tell, this is multiple colors of yarn. So I've got this color blue, then there's a teal. Well, actually there's kind of a teal, and then a light
Is it this color?
blue.
It looks
No.
like that color.
Yeah, might have been some leftovers of this now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then there's also a red. And so I don't know if you can see, but it's a slip stitch pattern. And it's really, really good at using up bits of scraps and everything. And then on this one, I had a lot more of the pink, and I had just a little bit of the white. So I used a couple of rows of the patterns to do it in the white or the cream color, and then just with the pink, I just went ahead and just knit, just did stockinette. This pink is also another Simply Soft colorway. I will look that up as well and have it in the show notes. But I wanted to start using up some of the scraps. I save them because
This one's really pretty.
I don't want to throw them away, but then on the other hand, I don't want to, turn it this way because this shows the jog. I don't want to throw them away because they can be used for something, and this pattern is excellent for at doing scraps, because you can basically just add them in as needed. What?
Just feeling it. It feels a little bit tight.
Well, that has to do with the slip stitches, and I have a naturally tighter tension than some people.
You could say that.
Yeah. So yeah.
You could knit like chainmail. Your gauge is so tense.
So again, I don't really worry about who the hat is going to fit, because I'm not knitting it for any specific recipient. So I just kind of freeform how much yarn I want to pull out for the cast on, and go from there.
Just wing it.
But this pattern was really, really great, and I definitely will continue to use it to use up a bunch of my odds and ends.
I like how the stripes look at the top.
Yeah, so obviously at the top I stopped doing the slip stitch part because I didn't want to have to fiddle with paying attention to a pattern.
Well, you would need a certain, like an even number of stitches for it to look a certain way.
And that stuff is written in the pattern, but I was listening to I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks while in it, so I wanted to pay attention more to the book than to my knitting. And I had memorized the slip stitch pattern, so I didn't really need to pay attention to that. But obviously to do decreases that I hadn't been doing, I would have had to pay attention, and I was just too lazy for that. So
ain't nothing wrong with that. This is a good lazy project. This is a good, I want to knit, but I don't know when I want to knit sort of thing.
And if you've got, like I said, if you've got scraps, throw them together and make a really cool hat.
I really like this one.
So that's what I've been working on.
So I guess I'll show what I'm wearing first. This is, look at that sleeve.
That's
I love
cool
that.
sleeve.
This is the Love Witch sweater. This is a pattern by Disco Knits. And I think I knit this in less than a month. I was working on this whenever, I had just started it whenever we came to your house for Hurricane Ida. And I finished it right before the Hocus Pocus update. So that would have been like the very tail end of August. So like August 27th, 28th.
Yeah.
To September 22nd. So that's almost a month. I knit the 3XL size, but I went down 2 needle sizes because I wanted a denser fabric. This is the DK version. I think there's only one version. I think it's just DK, but this is the small bell version. Which, have you seen the large bell version? The sleeves are like huge.
So they'd be excellent for like if you're doing a lip sync and
yes,
and
like
Drag Race.
Coco Montrese and Alyssa
Edwards.
Edwards and Coco's doing this sleeveography or whatever they called it. Yeah.
I can't remember what that song was, but
Cold-Blooded Snake.
Oh, that's right.
Because she does a doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had these fantastic bell sleeves.
It's so good. Yeah. So this is perfect if you need to do some sleeveography,
or if you're going to be in a lip sync.
Yeah, if you're going to be on Drag Race.
Oh, you can do it for any lip sync.
You can just lip sync anytime. There's nothing stopping you.
You can do it in your house with the cool sleeves.
So this is by Disco Knits. I used a new base. This is Silky DK. So it is a 70% superwash merino, 30% silk. And this is on the DK weight. I also have Silky Sock, which is an 80/20, but it's on sock weight. And this color is Sarah Sanderson. I did the Hocus Pocus collection, and there is a tonal colorway for each of the sisters. And I do have kits for this sweater if you are interested. It's like a little crop length sweater. So this is how long it is. You really can't see much below because I don't want you to, because I'm wearing pajama pants. But keeping it real. But it has this really pretty lace on the hem, and the same lace is on the sleeves. And I want to say I knit this on a 5, but I'm not entirely sure. 4 or a 5. It's got a lot of cat hair on it.
No, I'm just looking at your gauge. If I had knit that on a 5, like, you wouldn't be able to see any light going through there.
Well, we took that class. I can't remember if you took it or not. With Knit to Flatter, Amy Herzog. And she said that whenever you knit a sweater, if you want to keep its stability, you want to do the pinky test.
Yeah, I took the test.
Oh, okay.
I took that class. That's when I brought the sweater that I knit
I
hated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be able to poke your finger through it.
You shouldn't be able to wiggle your pinky finger through your stitches. And that's supposed to help your stitch integrity.
Depending on the style of sweater you're knitting.
Yeah. If you're knitting a seamed sweater, I think the seams give it some structure. I've knit a lot of sweaters. I actually counted, and this is my 19th sweater. But I've swatched a grand total of maybe 5 times. So I'm not the best sweater knitter. I'm not really. I would not follow my own advice.
You like your final product, though.
Yeah, well, I know.
So you're very happy with what you're putting out. This is why you're not continuing to swatch, because you know what's going to work for you.
Yeah. I'm also very much a product knitter, and I don't know if this is because I'm a product knitter, but I have a tendency to try on my sweater obsessively. Like, I will try on my sweater every couple of inches. So if it's not fitting, I have time to correct it. So I don't know if that's all product knitters, or if that's just, my particular brand of goofy knit habits, but I don't swatch.
It's working for you.
I don't swatch. I know that my gauge is loose, so I know that I usually go down at least 1 needle size. What I usually do is I go up 1 bust size, and then I go down 1 or 2 needle sizes, depending on the phase of the moon. I don't know what it depends.
The weight of the yarn.
What needles I have available.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I don't knit anything super fitted. I mean, this is, everything nowadays has so much ease, it seems like, which is a good thing. Takes more yarn, but you can be less specific about the fit. So
you got more wiggle room.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So this is actually, I've knit behind me, that's my sheer V. That's another finished object that I'm actually not really going to talk about because I don't have the yarn anymore. I don't want to show you something that you can't get. But I think the past 4 sweaters I've knit have been cropped, which seems like the trend. I'm not complaining about it because I really like the look of them. But I think my next sweater is going to be a big, oversized, full length, full sleeve dealio. But I enjoyed this knit.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I did omit the short rows. I did short rows in another pattern. What other pattern?
The fuzz.
Yeah. I did.
No, that's not fuzz. I think.
Oh, it's a pole.
Pearl might have gotten you.
It happens. That's my life. I did short rows in the Soldotna, and it came out funky in the back, and I don't like the way it looks. I don't understand the purpose of them. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not educated enough of a sweater knitter, but I don't understand the purpose of short rows in the back, so I omitted them on the sweater. But everything else I knit to pattern.
Could be some people need them and some people don't. Maybe it just depends on how your shoulders are.
I don't know. But, I enjoyed this knit. I would knit it again. I have kits in the shop if you're interested, or you can use pretty much any DK weight. And that's that on that.
Cool.
Is that, you just have the hats?
I just have the hats.
Okay. I'm going to talk about this next.
So we're going to finish objects? Oh, we've been doing finish. It's been a while.
I don't know what you've been doing.
Where did I go? Took a trip. Now I'm back. Okay.
We're all good? Sorry. Okay. It's been a little while, so.
Okay, so senior moment.
Thank you for bearing with us. This is my Luminaria shawl, and this is a
Sorry, that was bad.
This is a pattern by Lindsay Fowler.
I love this.
Love
this shawl. It's
I
cool.
really like this shawl. I really, really like this shawl. I like this shawl so much that I knit it bigger than it's supposed to be because I was enjoying it so much. So I think I was supposed to stop. I got 4 full repeats. 1, 2. I got 3 full repeats. I think I was supposed to stop like here. Can't see that. I think I was supposed to stop like here. So it's supposed to be much smaller, but I was enjoying it so much. Let me give you a close up. So I used teeny buttons.
But it seems like it's a pattern that you could just keep going, right?
Yeah. This is Teeny Button Studio solo singles, and this is the entirety minus 2 colorways of the Folkmore collection. So because I have kits for this, I didn't want to make it too much bigger, because then if somebody sees it, they're like, why doesn't mine look like yours? And the answer is because I just liked to knit and I just kept going. But whenever I knit a sample, I try to follow the pattern as closely as possible, because if I'm gonna advertise it as, oh, this is what yours will look like if you knit it to pattern, then I want it to look like what it will look like if someone buys the kit and knits it to pattern. So I did end up sticking a mini skein in the first round of the kits in case they wanted to knit it longer. And I'm like, I have extra mini skeins, and what if somebody's gauge is loose and they run out of yarn? So if you bought this kit from the first round, you got an extra mini skein of the main color. So speaking of that, the main color, which is this kind of champagne-y color, is Champagne Problems. These are all colors inspired by the Folklore and Evermore albums by Taylor Swift. I did this collection in July, and I actually still have it available because it's really good kind of accent tonals. So starting up here, this kind of reddish color is Blaze in the Dark. This brown is Cowboy Like Me. It's easier to show it on this side. This side. This is Tossing Pennies, this copper color. This yellow is Thread of Gold. This pink is A Marvelous Time. I'm not used to like showing things. It's all backwards. This burgundy color is Ain't My Merlot. This way. This green is Roots in My Dreamland. This darker kind of blue is Sinking Ships. This lighter blue is Love You to the Moon. I had to think about that for a second because I have 2 lighter blues in the collection. And then this kind of taupey color is High Heels on Cobblestones. So there's such tiny blips of color, but they alternate. I think they look like really, like it looks very seamless. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like it's one fading kind of.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
When I saw you working on this, I had to buy the pattern also.
Yeah.
Because I love that.
It's so great. Candace of Pin Feathers and Pearls did a version of this with like mints and browns, and it looks so pretty.
Candace used mint.
I know, Candace loves mint. But I thought this was a good way, because people say I want to buy the whole collection, but I don't want to buy a full skein of each. This is a good way to sample the whole collection. And then it has this really pretty lace edging detail. And if you are a better knitter than I, then you probably would take pins and block out all of these really pretty little picots on the edge. But I did not, because I didn't have enough pins. And also
some for me.
Also didn't feel like it.
Oh, I think that's actually.
So
as you and I have blocked out many a picot edge.
Yeah.
But it is more fun when it's 2 doing it.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while.
It does. And this is my solo singles base, so it is a single ply merino sock weight. I don't carry it often. I usually only do it for kits. I usually only do it for shawl kits. I've knit, most of my shawls are knit in this space if I use my own Teeny Button Studio yarn.
You love your solo singles.
I love singles. Singles don't sell very well. And I think it's one of those things, you either love singles or you hate them.
I'm in the other camp.
You hate them?
I'm not a big. My
singles. Gauge
is too tight. Always worried that I'm gonna break it because there's no twist to it.
Yeah, maybe so. It's a slightly more delicate yarn because it's not plied with another yarn, so there's not a lot of strength to it. So I guess I get that. But it's so drapey and like...
It's beautiful.
I just love singles. So that is my Luminaria Shawl. And I think that's all the finished objects I'm going to share today. I do have a pair of socks over there underneath.
Here?
No, here.
Oh.
I guess I'll show those. I finished these a little...
Oh, sorry.
A little while ago. I thought they were together.
Yeah, I did too.
So these are... I don't have my sock blockers
Over here? No?
Yeah, okay. I'll use this. I'll put one on the blocker.
You get this? Is that better?
I do have my sock blockers. Look at me go. This is, I haven't talked about this yet. This is my new house that we're filming in. Pretty much the day after we filmed the last episode, we got a text from the landlady that's like, hey, I'm selling your rental house and, you know, come March, y'all need to move. So Larry and I kind of, I wouldn't say we panicked, but we hadn't thought about buying a house yet. We'd considered it, but it wasn't something that was really on the radar yet.
I think y'all were iffy. Do we stay? Do we not stay?
Yeah.
You know, because you knew your lease was coming up.
Yeah. So,
but this kind of forced you to make a decision
Yeah.
quicker than you would have made normally.
yeah. So, we did end up buying this house. We were very happy with it. And so this is my studio space. That's what I'm calling this. It's like my craft room. I also have an office and I have a garage studio. So that's very exciting. But, this is our first time recording in this space. So it's nice to kind of have everything in arm's reach, which isn't typical for me. So this is a pair of socks that I finished. I think I started these last year actually, but it is Nomadic Yarns. It is her 80/20 base. I don't think she has a name for it. I think it's just 80/20. And the colorway is Witching Hour. And I actually finished these a few months ago, but I thought it'd be fun to show them because of Halloween. It's like a Halloween color. So I used my usual sock recipe. So I cast on 24 using a figure 8 cast on. It's been a long time since I started a pair of socks actually. I cast on 24. I increased every other row using the knit front and back increase till I get to 68, and then I just knit in the round for decades and decades until I get to the ribbing, and then I do 20 rows of a 2x2 ribbing, and then these are cut in true afterthought heels. And I use the Kirby Warby tutorial on YouTube for how to pick up your stitches. And sometimes I use the Susan B. Smooth Operator heel pattern. I don't think I use that for this one, but I've done it so many times, maybe there's a technique in there that I use that I don't remember. So I would recommend this Smooth Operator heel pattern if you are looking to do cut-in afterthought heels. So I think I did leaning decreases, yeah, because that gives it that kind of column of stitches and how like the decreases kind of like blend into it. So I do have 2 socks. Proof that I have 2 finished socks. And this is actually my only sock finish of this year, I think.
Wow.
Which is unusual for me, but I've knit 4 sweaters. So, and a shawl. So I haven't knit as much as I usually do, but I did finish at least 1 pair of socks. Usually I do at least 10.
You usually have your birthday cast on and all that.
Well, I think also because, you know, we've been vaccinated and everything, but I still don't really go anywhere. Sometimes, like, I'll go shopping and stuff, but we don't go out and sit at coffee shops and knit, and we don't go out to eat anymore. So that's whenever I would get most of my sock knitting done in the car or like at
that's a real
restaurants.
portable project.
Yeah. And so since I'm home almost all the time, I don't really have...
Well, you can also do
many.
the bigger projects because you're not having to tote it all.
Yeah. And also, if we do go somewhere, like if Larry and I go to New Orleans for the day or something, I'm in the car for 45 minutes or something, I'll take a bigger project for that. And it's not just like running out the door, kind of grab a project and go. So, I think that is all of our finished objects.
It is for me.
And you have the one whip?
I have the one work in progress that's been in progress for a very long time.
Okay.
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I will go first since I have 2 then.
Yeah.
Okay. So this, look at this. I love this bag. This is probably my favorite sock size bag now that I'm thinking about it. It just makes me so happy, and there's so much to look at. It's from the Fat Squirrel. I don't think that she currently has this fabric in stock.
Every every time we see a cat fabric, we've got to always name which
This
cat.
is Helga, this is Pearl. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all do that with your pets, but anyway, we do.
We're just cat people. We're just...
Well, I mean, if you've got dog fabric, you
just
can do it for your
weirdos.
puppies.
Yeah. Audie's an honorary cat. She's the only dog in the family. So, this is a newer cast on. I cast this on like a week or two ago. And this is the Flicker and Flame hat by Andrea Mowry. And it is a colorwork project. It is knit out of another kit that I have in my shop because I like to have samples. Sure. These are two of the Hocus Pocus colorways. So this one is Black Flame Candle. And it's showing up a true black, but it's actually like a really, 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 really dark navy. You'd call that a navy, right?
Yeah.
But it's not reading as black. But it's not reading as navy, it's reading as black. But I promise it's navy. And then this one is Come We Fly. It's a little wonky looking cake here. So it's this reddish orange with these yellow and purple and pink speckles. So, thank you. I am knitting this on a 6. And I'm pretty sure that I did go down a needle size also because sometimes... Well, I'm not sure if I went down a needle size actually because sometimes my color work is a little tight. So I might be knitting this to size. I would look
Wouldn't
at...
you go up a needle size if it's tight?
Yeah, but I'm already a loose knitter.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of going down like I typically would, I think I just... You know what? I think I did go down a needle size actually.
This is cute.
This is from like 5 years ago. I can't remember who made that.
What is that?
It's like a little apple streusel.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a little slice of French bread, but now I see.
It's got a little apple filling in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll focus.
It's little stitch markers too.
Yeah. Here are my floats. Everybody look at the floats. Ooh. They look really good. Wow. They look really good on camera. I did that. Every time I knit color work, I'm like, I knit that.
Look at me.
Because for so long I was afraid of color work. I was afraid of not like slip stitch color work or mosaic color work, but I was afraid of two-handed Fair Isle color work.
Sounds like you got it under control.
Yeah. Every so often I get like a craving for it. I don't know if it's just me, but like I'm like, ooh, I really want to knit brioche, or I really want to knit cables, or every so often.
I don't ever get I really want to get knit color work though.
Oh, well, you don't knit color work really.
No, because I knit too tight.
You'd have to go up like 4 needle sizes,
and then I can't wear it because once I did there was a pair of Billie Jane mittens that I did, and I can barely squeeze my hands in them. They look good,
yeah,
but I can barely squeeze my hands in.
Yeah. I'm knitting this with Teeny Button Studio worsted, which is a newer base, and I didn't think that anybody would want worsted. I thought if you're going to do worsted, I don't know why I thought any people didn't want worsted. I know most of the patterns that I look at that I want to knit are knit in DK, and if they're knit in worsted, I just use DK anyway. So I'm a bad knitter, y'all. Why do you let me do this?
Look, you do you.
But
you do you. I can't fix that.
But I figured it was time to have an actual worsted. So it's just soft worsted. It's 218 yards per 100 grams. And I really like it. It's a slightly looser ply, so it's nice and squishy, and I think it's going to really bloom whenever
a nice hat.
Yeah, whenever I block this, I think it's going to bloom.
You want something squishy.
Nicely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying that. It's kind of, I'll do a couple rows here and there and then pick it up and put it down sort of thing. So I want to have it done though because I have some people who've bought the kits and I want to make sure that they can see what it looks like so they know how about to knit up. I mean, I have pictures on my Instagram of, the work in progress. So, and I think I filmed some of myself knitting it yesterday for the vlog. So if you are watching Vlogtober, you'll see me doing my little color work magic in action. It's so because I knit color work two-handed, so I usually throw with my left hand, but I have to throw with my right hand, and for some reason it feels fancy. Like I'm like ooh with the yarn. Fancy. It just feels fancy. So
it's just different.
It's different, yeah. So that is my first work in progress. You want to go ahead and show yours?
Oh, sure. So I am continuing to work on a sweater that I started for my sister. I have this in my Whimsy Stitches bag. It's a sweater size bag. This is the Katsu Cardigan by Amber O'Brien. I've probably been working on it for...
You bought the yarn for it at Houston Fiber Fest 2019.
2+ years. Since I'm knitting it for my sister, and my sister lives in Houston, we don't get to see her as much, especially with the pandemic. So I needed to wait to make sure that it was the fit that she wanted. Originally, according to the pattern, it is knit shorter and the sleeves are shorter, but she wanted it longer and wanted longer sleeves. So what I needed to do was knit it to pattern and then see what she wanted to add on to that. So that's why it's taking me as long as it's taking me. So now I'm going to try to find the top. Okay, so, all right, that goes this way. All right, just trying not to drop the yarn. So, so here's the sweater. I've got it to the length that she wants it, and I have this sleeve to the length that she wants it, and I am knitting this sleeve to the length that she wants it. And so I'm almost there. I think I'm maybe about this much too short, and then the sleeve will be finished. And then what I will do is I will go ahead and block it to size according to the size she chose in the pattern. And then once I get it blocked to size, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I-cord edging on it, just so everything kind of is at the right size and I don't have to stretch out the I-cord edging and all that kind of stuff like that. So I'm getting close. Yeah. I do plan on finishing it this year so that I can get it to her and she can wear it finally. But the reason why it's taken so long, in addition to the fact that I lost my knitting mojo and my wrists were bothering me, it was a while between getting over to Houston to get her to try it on and see if this was the length she wanted. So I knit it to size, and then she had to try it, and then I had to see how much she wanted to add, and then I added to that, and then I said, okay, are you happy with the length and the sleeve? You know, so yeah, you know how that goes. But anyway, that's where I am.
It's been a journey.
Yeah, but this is probably going to be my first successful sweater, since the only other sweater I knit was unsuccessful. But it's always good to have one that somebody will enjoy wearing.
There was a lizard on this window a minute ago, and I think that somebody's very interested in
it.
it.
That's why we're getting excited. I need to chase down this.
Well, I didn't want her on the table because I didn't want her to
Where'd it go?
jiggle the camera. We'll find it after. It's under your chair. So I have another whip to show.
Just know what Pearl carried it around.
She would never do that.
Oh, she loves to carry around these games.
So this is my Like a Cloud cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And I started this
looks like a cloud.
I love it. I started this in April. And I'm actually knitting this with yarn I got in 2019 too. So this is, okay, this is the top. So it's knit really interesting. I'm not going to give too much away.
And there she goes with my yarn. She has it in her mouth. Where are you going?
I don't know where she thinks she's going with that. But you knit the back, and then you pick up and you knit the fronts from the back. So it has this, it's very heavy. It has the seam on the top that you pick up and knit down from, which is pretty cool. So I've knit the entirety of the body, and it's actually a little bit shorter than the pattern calls for. It's like a long line sort of style cardigan. But I know that this is alpaca, so it's going to grow.
Yeah.
So this is Camellia Fiber Co. Camellia Fiber Company, and it is
her have this wrapped around
Flax DK. So it's 50% alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk, and the colorway is Thistle.
Oh, you got that at SSK one year.
I got this at House of Yarn.
Yeah, when we were in town.
For SSK, and you got it for me for my birthday. Look, she scratched me. It happens. So I have 2 more skeins. It's so soft. I have 2 more skeins of this, but I don't think I'm going to need the last one. So I've picked up the sleeve, and I saw Mina do this once. Mina of Knitting Expat, where she puts these little bulb pen stitch markers to mark her decreases whenever she does her sweaters sleeves one at a time. So it's easy to count the decreases instead of like looking for them in the fabric.
Makes sense.
So I'm copying her whenever I do that.
I've seen people do that with socks.
Yeah. So I have the first sleeve, just a chunk of the sleeve done. It feels like I've been knitting the sleeve forever for some reason. I feel like the sleeve should be a lot longer than it is.
I never understood Sleeve Island until I knit a sweater. And yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah. The good thing about this though is because this is essentially neck to shoulder. So the sleeve is a drop sleeve. Yeah. So that's already almost to my elbow, I think, whenever I try it on.
Here's where you pick up the sleeve.
Yeah. So again, also the sleeves are going to grow because alpaca has a tendency to grow, I know. So that rhymed. But I know I'm not going to knit them quite as long as I would if this was a regular like merino kind of yarn. So this is a long running whip. Not that long, but about 6 months or so. And I like that. Look at that texture pattern.
I know the pattern is beautiful.
Yeah. So this is Like a Cloud by Hoagie Locatelli. And I'm hoping to finish this. I was hoping to finish this before I start a new sweater. And I'm usually pretty good about that. Mostly because if I'm still interested in knitting that, I'm not kind of itching to go to the next thing. I want to get this done so I can actually wear it. So that's all the projects that we have to share, right?
Correct.
Okay. I have one acquisition order thingy to show you. I haven't really been buying much yarn.
I haven't bought anything in a while.
I've bought a little bit, but I did buy 2 advent calendars.
Nothing wrong
so
with that.
I'll have
Makes you
those
happy?
to share in December. And I haven't actually ever bought someone else's advent calendar before. And this year I'm like, go big or go home. I'm gonna go ahead and buy 2. So I bought Knox Yarn Co. and I bought Sorella because she was doing a Disney World one. So I splurged a little bit. But I haven't been buying yarn much throughout the year. But I did have to get some skeins from the ACOTAR collaboration that I did with Red Door Fiber Studio and Explore Fiber Arts. So by the time you watch this, I will have taken it down. But if you follow along on Instagram, Kate of Red Door invited us to do a collection inspired by A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a young adult, new adult series about
New adult?
Young adult is like geared towards like high schoolish. New adult has more adult content.
I didn't know that was a new...
Still on the younger side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Not like contemporary fiction, like... I can't think of any examples right now, but like normal contemporary fiction. Young adult and new adult are usually more fantasy inspired, but not always.
Well, I'm familiar with young adult. Yeah. It's just the new adult
is like young adult, but has more spicy content.
Got it.
So it's a really fun series. If you like it, it is more adult, so don't let children read it. But it's a fae story, so there's different courts. So like different kingdoms within this one realm. So Allie of Explore Fiber Arts did the Night Court. So she has here, I have bought 2 skeins of Court of Dreams, which is really gorgeous. It's like greens and blues and purples. It's very like, almost like Starry Night to me without the yellow. It's so pretty. So I got 2 skeins of that. And then I got a skein of To the Stars Who Listen. So there's her logo. And it's this really pretty, like foresty green, but a little bit of a cooler sort of green. So I got these both on her Rockies DK, which is 100% superwash merino, 274 yards. So the plan is, I did 3 colorways. I had Autumn Court. So I did Court of Foxes, which is my variegated speckled colorway, and then Vansera is my dark tonal colorway. I also did a 3rd colorway called Don't Let the Hard Days Win, which is one of my favorite quotes from the series. So the plan is to use the tonal or one or the other. I need to see them all together. I got 2 colorways from Kate. I got, oh gosh, Fine is Great, and I got Cursebreaker, I think.
Now, what court did she do?
She was the one who decided to do the collection, so she did each of the characters in the inner circle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she did 2 colorways per character. She did Feyre, Tamlin, Lucian, Cassian, Rhysand, Azriel, Amren, and Morrigan. So I got her tonals for Cassian and for Feyre. So once they all come in and I can see them all together, the plan is to do a colorwork sweater, and with 1 colorway from Allie, 1 colorway from Kate, and then the Don't Let the Heart Days 1 colorway from me. Because I thought it'd be fun to do like a sweater with all of the...
That would be cool.
All of them together. So
I like that.
I didn't know which color was going to be which. I should have bought 2 of this one, but I didn't. Because I wasn't thinking. But I'm going to need... Once I get them all in hand, I need to decide what's color A, B, and C. And then I need to decide...
Do you have a pattern in mind?
Yeah, it's by Handmade Closet. But I can't remember the name of it. And I'm undecided. There's a couple I'm still trying to pick from. Because I bought a bunch of her patterns, even though I've never knit any of them. And she has one coming out next week for Rhinebeck that I like. So once... I'm still waiting for Kate's yarn to come in. Because she's kind of doing hers... I think she's doing them by colorway and then by base. So I ordered the DK, and then I also ordered something on bulky. And so I would imagine if she didn't get a big response, I mean, she had a huge response, but if she sold less of the bulky, she might save that for last. So I'm not in a rush. You know, I have so much to knit. And next I want to knit a sweater sample in a colorway that I'm going to do for my winter collection. That's the next plan, is to do like a big bulky worsted weight sweater. So I'm not in a rush to knit that, but I was just excited to get these. They're so pretty.
They are beautiful.
So pretty. This is my second time ordering Allie's yarn. Her updates sell out really fast. I got, I think, her Karma Chameleon colorway, or Karma Chameleon, from her Into the Wild collection. I want to say Karma Chameleon, like the Culture Club song. But her yarn is just beautiful. So very excited to have that. So that is all of the acquisitions. That's all of the nitty, like, normal podcasty content that I have today. Is that all you got?
That's all I have.
Okay. I am going to show, I actually have a little shop update today, which I didn't think about till I ran out there to get a Band-Aid. And I have something to show that's going to be into the shop tonight. And by the time you watch this weekend, it will probably still be in the shop. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If you know, if you've seen my stories before around the holiday season, you know that my all-time favorite Christmas movie is Muppets Christmas Carol. And on Disney Plus, starting today, they're streaming The Muppets Haunted Mansion, which I am super excited about because I love the Haunted Mansion and I love the Muppets. So I decided to do 2 Muppets Haunted Mansion colorways. So they're going into the shop at 5 o'clock tonight. They're going to be mostly pre-orders like I've been doing lately. But if you want a sock set, they'll be in stock. By the time that you're watching this, they probably won't still be in stock. But I'm hoping the pre-orders will still be open. So this is the speckled / variegated colorway. And it is called Welcome Foolish Muppets. So it has... this kind of purples, there's some gray, there's some of that midnight blue, kind of dark navy cobalt. There's some pink for Miss Piggy and some green for Kermit. And I used a lot of the colors from the trailer. So that's kind of where I pulled my inspiration from. And then for the tonal, or this is more of a tonal than a semi-solid. This is Madame Pagoda, because Miss Piggy is Madame...
I love it!
Miss Piggy is playing Madame Leota.
I love it!
So I'm not actually sure how to spell it, because whenever I published the listing for this, the show wasn't out. So I couldn't go to the credits and see how they spelled it. I spelled it Pigota.
Which is, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, but Leota is Leota. So I don't know if there's an E in there. Yeah.
I love it.
So it's...
I can see her.
I love her. Oh my god, I love her so much. She's an icon. So this is the tonal colorway. So I have 36 of these sock sets in stock, and Larry has already claimed one for Christmas socks. For a long time, I was knitting him a pair of socks every Christmas. So he's got 5 pairs, maybe 4 or 5 pairs. But then I stopped because he never, it doesn't get cold. We're just north of New Orleans. So he runs hot, first of all. And it's only cold enough for hot-natured people to wear hand-knit socks like a week out of the year, right?
Why not do hats?
I don't think he'd wear a hat either. He's more likely to wear socks.
Okay.
Yeah. So he actually claimed this skein. So this is Larry's skein. You will not be getting this skein. But he's a big purple fan. Purple's his favorite color. So every time I do purple, he's like, "Oh,
What's that?
you want to knit me some socks?" I'm like, "Maybe." So this is the sock set. That's going to be available at 5 o'clock tonight. Today is the 8th. And it's going to be kind of limited because I'm still working on Advents. And that's going to be at teenybuttonstudio.com. Sometimes I figure I should probably say that so people know where to go. But I'm still working on Advents. I'm still working on ACOTAR orders. And I haven't even started the Hocus Pocus collection yet. Because the ACOTAR response was crazy. I've never had that many people in the shop at once. I've never had that many orders for one colorway, which is amazing. I'm super, super happy about that. But it means I'm dyeing the same colorways day in and day out every day for weeks and weeks, which is, honestly, it's kind of fun. I kind of like it feels very methodical when you can go so fast and it just feels like you're cranking them out. But I'm a little ready to try something a little different, kind of like a little palette cleanser in between. So I think that is everything.
I think so.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for still being here.
Yep, we missed y'all.
Yeah.
Just life got in the way. Things came up. Wrists were hurting. Lost my mojo.
Yeah.
Robyn didn't want to do it by herself. Pearl doesn't talk much.
No, she's not a good conversationalist.
Unless you're a bird. She will talk to a bird. Or a lizard or a dragonfly.
Yeah.
But we are none of those.
No. Yeah. She also doesn't knit that much.
She likes yarn.
She likes yarn, but she doesn't like to knit that much. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Check out Vlogtober if you like to see more cat content. It's mostly cat content.
Puppy content,
And puppy content. So, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.